Nuclear power. Some say it's our clean energy future, others think of catastrophe and radiation. So, which is it? A miracle or a ticking time bomb? Today, we're breaking down the truth simply. What is nuclear energy? When we talk about nuclear energy, we're talking about one of the most powerful sources of electricity on Earth. It works using nuclear fission, a process where atoms, usually uranium 235, are split apart. When they split, they release a massive amount of heat. That heat boils water, which then creates steam, which then spins a turbine. And that spinning turbine makes electricity. Now, unlike solar or wind, nuclear doesn't care if it's daytime, nighttime, raining, or cloudy. It runs 24/7. Before moving on, let's address the shadow looming over the topic of nuclear reactors, the shadow of Chernobyl. On April 26, 1986, at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine, disaster struck. During a safety test, the number 4 reactor exploded. Throughout this entire process, the main things that went wrong was that the power level dropped unexpectedly, most control rods were removed, cooling was lost by the technicians, and a flawed reactor design caused a massive power surge when they tried to shut it down. And the result? An explosion, fire, and radiation release. One of the worst nuclear disasters in history. However, since then, safety standards have completely changed. New reactors are designed to shut down automatically, but nuclear accidents, while extremely rare, can have massive consequences. And that's why public fear still exists. So, why do so many experts support nuclear energy? For one, it's a low carbon source of electricity. Nuclear reactors produce around 30% of the world's low carbon energy. Another reason is that it's extremely high efficiency. They operate at about 90% capacity. For comparison, wind and solar average around 20 to 40%. And of course, the energy security. A tiny amount of fuel produces a huge amount of power in nuclear reactors. While yes, mining uranium has environmental concerns, but compared to burning coal or oil, nuclear is still far cleaner. Now, on to the big question. Is it safe? Today's nuclear plants are far safer than those from the past. They have multiple backup systems, strong containment, and stricter regulations. So, is another Chernobyl likely? No, it's very unlikely. But is it impossible? No. Because testing for extreme accidents isn't simple. One mistake has huge consequences. Now, the issue most people worry about nuclear waste. So, what happens after fuel is used? First, it's put into cooling pools. Fresh spent fuel is extremely hot and radioactive. It's kept underwater for years, sometimes up to 20 years to cool down. Secondly, it's put into dry cask storage. Once stable, it's placed in thick, sealed containers made of steel and concrete. And finally, the long term goal would be to bury it deep underground in safe, unshakable, geological vaults isolated for thousands of years. However, right now most countries are still using temporary storage. Nuclear agencies take full responsibility, but a permanent global solution is still a work in progress. So, how does the energy efficiency of nuclear power compare to other forms of energy? Nuclear power, as we have said, has an efficiency of 90 plus percent, while gas has around 57%, coal around 35%, and finally wind and solar fall in between the 20 to 40% range. Even so, 85% of the world's energy still comes from fossil fuels. Renewables like nuclear, wind, and solar only make up around 15%. Nuclear energy isn't perfect, but it's powerful, reliable, and low carbon. It may not be the only solution, but it could be a key part of a cleaner future if managed responsibly. The more we talk about nuclear energy, not with fear, but with facts, the better decisions we can make for our planet. If you liked the video, subscribe. If you want to spread awareness, drop a like. If you have any comments or questions, post them down below. And finally, thanks for watching.